Then I'll just
And
record. I'm sure it shouted at you. Okay, let me share my screen. I'm going to start with pathways. And if you have any questions along the way, please stop me so that we can go through it. I think sometimes it's quite tricky. If you want to try and follow it on your laptop, you can do so, but it is sometimes quite tricky to then go from one screen to the next. Unless you've got multiple screens, then you're good to go. So I'm going to start from the very, very beginning. Let me share my screen here. Okay. I just want to make sure I can see everybody still. Okay. So if it's your first time logging in to the Toastmasters website, you're going to go to toastmasters.org. And there's this little part here that says first time logging in. And you will click that to create a password. And what you'll need to do is you just put in the email address that you've given Toastmasters International, and you create a password, and boom, there you go. And then you will come back to this page and you'll log in. So I'm going to do that now. Sometimes you have to be relatively patient with the website because it can be quite slow at the best of times, as you can see. Any questions so far? Okay.
I'm good.
Okay, perfect. No news is good news. So then it's your first time logging in. You've just created your password. You're logging in for the first time. You're going to go, I think it will look slightly different to this, but you're going to go to Basecamp. So it will be under education programs, and you'll say go to Basecamp, and you'll press access.
Justine,
Yeah.
I have an idea all of a sudden because Alex has signed up, and Alex, have you created already your password?
No.
You see, we could take him then. I mean, you explain how everything goes, or Quentin as well. We could take one of those who have signed up, and they can open their or their computer, and we could go with them through, or you can help them from the beginning because you are already further up to create a password, to create a profile, because they're really at the start. So we could take one of those as an example as well.
Okay, perfect. Alex, would you like to give it a go with yours?
Sure, I will do.
Let me stop sharing, and then if you're happy to share your screen.
Is it okay, Justine, or do I just...
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect.
So just a question from me. So I tried to actually log in and create a profile earlier today, but it gave me an error saying that the email address is not registered. So I don't know if that's my Woolies
Oh, it's
email
the
that was
Woolies.
used. It is, yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I used the same as on the form.
Exactly. I did.
Think with
So
I don't think your payment has gone through yet.
yeah, that's what I thought. I saw they've approved, but I don't know if they have actually physically paid yet. So that might be just a delay.
I'm going to double check now, but as far as I'm aware, I don't think you've paid yet. Well, Woolworths hasn't paid for you yet. And as soon as you've paid, then you'll be able to the website.
Perfect.
I know I haven't paid.
Oh, okay. Then Alex, sorry, we can't use you as our guinea pig. Anthony, would you
Okay.
like to try? Are you happy?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, Alex.
100%.
No problem.
Hi, Michaela.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good, thank you. Okay, awesome. So, you've logged in already. Amazing. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So then we're going to, have you chosen a pathway yet, Alex? Anthony?
No, I haven't.
So you can go to paths and projects. I think, yeah, then this will show you all the different pathways. I don't expect you to choose your pathway now in front of all of us if you don't want to, unless you know which one you would like to do.
I would like to read up about them a bit more, if that is possible. I don't know what all the different ones are.
And then if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you will see there should be, keep going down a bit. If you click here, choose a path. And then just select your English. You can also in the on the third little block here under number 2, it says take an assessment. So you can take a quick little online assessment. You don't have to do it now, where they ask you a couple of questions and then they give you I think it's 3. Back in the day, it was 3. You get 3 pathways that they think would best suit you according to your answers. So if you wanted to do that, then you could do that. Otherwise, you can also just read up on all of them and see which one speaks to you the most. Just remember, for pathways level 1 and level 2, all the projects are exactly the same, no matter which pathway that you've chosen. So level 1 and 2, everyone's doing exactly the same projects. And then as of level 3, you start choosing elective projects. So I think there's 1 or 2, or maybe 1 project that is compulsory. And then thereafter, you're just choosing from a list of projects that best speaks to you and whatever is happening in your life. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Okay, cool. Does anyone have any questions with choosing a path? No. Okay. So then I'm going to, thanks, Anthony. Then I think we can stop your sharing. I'm going to quickly
Okay,
show
cool.
for when you start your, okay, let me just go back here. When you do your first speech, or for those who are doing second speeches or third speeches or whatever it might be, or clicking off projects, because how it works is you, for example, it's going to be your icebreakers, your first speech. You'll log on to pathways, which I'll do now. We go to education programs and we go to Basecamp. So this is what it'll look like once you've chosen your pathway. So here's my pathway. It's one of the legacy ones, which just means there used to be 6 pathways. Sorry, there used to be 12 pathways, and I think now they are only 6. So you would have seen on Anthony's page, the top 6 are the ones that you can choose from. The bottom 6 are the ones that used to be pathways. So if we go into the pathway, just want to see what's in the chat. Oh, sure, no worry, Michaela. Okay. For some reason, the new pathway hasn't actually seen that I've completed my level 1. So we're just going to play along with that. If you are with any other clubs, you'll have other clubs that will come up here, because when you complete a level, the club gets a point for completing a level. So whether it's level 1, we get a point. Whether you're completing level 2, the club gets a point. And as we accumulate points throughout the Toastmasters year, we get awards for the club. So it's really important to go and submit the completions of levels so that we can get awards, because it's quite nice. The last, I think, 2 years, we've been President's Distinguished Awards, which means we reached 9 out of the 10 goals. And that's quite a high achieving sort of, accolade to receive. So we were like, whoop, whoop. So we hope to get that again. So this is what it will look like when you get to your pathway. You can go into here to see path information on the left. It's just telling me that I've got a legacy path. Okay, if we're going to go to my icebreaker, you can click into icebreaker. I'm hoping it's going to allow me to do it. So this is what I mean about the slow. You get these twirly whirlies for quite some time. So before you start your speech, you come to pathways and you assess your skills before the project. They just ask you a couple of questions, which I'll show you now how to do. And then once you've finished your speech, you come back to this exact page and you assess your skills afterwards, which I'll show you now again. And once you've assessed your skills afterwards, you press submit, and then that sends it off to Toastmasters International to say that you have completed your icebreaker in level 1. And then for each speech, so your next speech is writing a speech with purpose, you do the same thing. You come and you assess your skills beforehand. Once you've done the speech, you come and you assess your skills afterwards. Submit, then it will give you a little tick that you've completed. And then you keep going through until you've completed your level 1. And then once you've completed a level, you do the same thing, and then it will submit it to me. I think, Gabrielle, you can also, I'm not sure, but I get an email and it says, Michaela has completed level 2. Please go have a look on my side. So then I have to log on and approve it and submit it. And then that goes through to Toastmasters International. And then you get a beautiful certificate that tells you that you've completed the level. But since they've changed pathways, I can't find those certificates. So it's my mission to find them, because we've got some people to acknowledge in our next meeting. So once you've completed a level, we like to celebrate you and hand you a certificate in the meeting. Okay.
Justine,
Yes.
so the icebreaker, that will be like one session for the 4th of March, for example. Then the next writing a speech with purpose will be in April.
Exactly.
Is that how it? Okay, cool.
That's how it works. And then because Toastmasters is an international organization, you are also free to go to other clubs and present your speech in other clubs. And when you do that, so let's say, Anthony, you do your icebreaker on the 4th of March, then on, middle of March, you go to a different club and you do a writing a speech with purpose, you can mark that off on pathways. You just let us know so that we can also just kind of have an idea of where you're at, because I've got a little Excel spreadsheet that keeps track of what everyone has been doing and who's done speeches when, so that if someone hasn't done a speech or someone hasn't taken on a role, I can encourage them to. Okay.
Okay, cool.
There's someone called iPhone in here coming in. Okay, so I'm going to begin my project. Oh, okay. I don't know what. This might be little videos and things. I'm not going to play them now, but you can sort of go through and see what you want to do. So here is, what's going on here? Okay. So here's the complete assess your skills before. I think this is just kind of telling you what to do. There used to be like a little drop down, but I don't see the little drop down. So you can read things here. It gives you a bit of information about what you want to do. Here you can go and print anything you want to print. Okay. So here are the assessing your skills beforehand. So number 1 is developing. Number 2 is emerging. 3 is accomplished. 4 excels. And 5 exemplary. So I want to, oopsie. I wonder if this one's already been done. So I'm actually just going to, sorry. It's not showing me assess the skills before or after. It's just giving me that.
Justine, may I ask a question, please?
Please, Anna.
Yes. So I've done my my first speech. So, but I never went into the program to do my assessment before. So I've done my my icebreaker speech, but I never went into it to do that questionnaire before or afterwards, or to tick it off. Can I still do it now? Should I just go back and then pretend I've done it?
You just sort of backtrack and you go and you assess your skills before, you go all the way to the end, you assess your skills afterwards, and then you press submit and complete it. And then you'll do the same for your last 2 speeches, because you've done your icebreaker and writing your speech with purpose, as well as your introduction to body language. So you can go mark off all 3 of them.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, I'm going to try this one and see if I can just show you. Okay, here we go. So here is the assess the skills before. So I'm just going to go willy-nilly. I'm not really going to make proper little notes, but I understand the role of a mentor. Let's say I'm not too sure, so I'll press next. I'm familiar with the role of the protege. I'm just going to say I'm not too sure. I recognize the value of mentoring. Yeah, sort of. I understand the difference between coaching and mentoring. Not so much. I recognize how this project applies to my life outside of Toastmasters. And then I press submit. Okay, so that's now good to go. I've assessed my skills beforehand. I can't for some reason see this. What does that say? Oh, just directions. Okay, now we're going to go to the end. Going to give me all the information I need. Usually you would hopefully read this and learn a little bit, not just what I'm doing. Okay, now here is the same assessment. It's exactly the same questions, and hopefully you've grown a little bit. So I'm familiar with the protege. Let's say I'm 4 now. Recognize the value of mentoring because I've learned so much in this project. And then submit. And then you can sort of see, this is now what I said before. This is what I said after, before, after. So technically I've grown so much in this project. And then we're good to go. Congratulations, you've completed this project. So then that I won't get a notification for because it's just one project within your level. But once you've completed the whole level, so in level 1, it's it's icebreaker, writing a speech with purpose, introduction to body language and vocal variety. Then it's an evaluation and feedback, which isn't technically giving an evaluation. It's doing a speech, getting your evaluation, incorporating that evaluation, and then giving the speech again, and then doing an evaluation for one of your club members. And then you can mark yourself off as completed with level 1. Okay. Does anybody have any questions around that? I know I went very quickly, but you can look at this recording and hopefully help you. Otherwise, you can always just ask me if you need any help. I'm always here to help you. Okay.
So just quick, it sounds like there's quite a few sort of sessions that you have to attend to be able to complete level 1. Is that right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
So it's
So what is it like more? Is that what 5 steps? But then you're going to evaluate and then redo it and then evaluate. So it's almost like like a year to kind of get
yeah,
through the first level.
it takes, but then you can, it doesn't have to take that long because you can also do it in other clubs. So you can go
Okay.
and do the writing a speech with purpose or introduction to body language at other clubs. But if you're wanting to progress quickly, you can speak at every meeting. That's absolutely fine.
Okay. Cool.
And then I think, sorry, Tabang, I do see your hand is up. With regards to speeches, I know people can be quite sort of strict around if it's writing a speech with purpose, there needs to be a strict, introduction, body, and conclusion. Or if it's bringing body language into your speech. If there's something you're wanting to speak about specifically in your life, bring that into your speech and do that. And then you can just speak to your evaluator because I don't want you to be sort of feeling like you held back because you can't do that speech because it's not what your project is saying. My feeling is you must make Toastmasters fit into your world, into your life. So let's try and incorporate as much as your life into Toastmasters, if that makes sense. Tabang, did you want to ask a question?
Yes, it was around there's a tab that says you can put the speech that you've done. So it says add the details of your speech below. Is there a way to attach the speech as opposed to
Do you mind showing me your screen so I can see?
Yeah, sure. Screen 2. Are you able to see that screen?
Yes.
So it's got this description bit here. Is there a way to rather attach the speech rather than to I don't know what this requirement is here.
That's a good question. I'm not too sure myself. It doesn't look like you can attach anything. It might just be that you've popped something in there. Request description.
Okay. Okay.
And when you select the evaluation form, select evaluation resource, what happens when you select that? Oh, okay. And then does it download it?
It doesn't look like it.
Okay. So it's just saying which project you're choosing. Okay. Sorry, I can't answer your question. Let me find out about that request description.
That's fine. Thanks, Justine.
But I would imagine you're just typing something in there. Reet.
I just would like to know how would you how do you manage if somebody wants to speak at every event every month, but you only have 3 speakers? So isn't the person who wants to speak at all the events, i.e. me, just being pushy, or how does it work?
Thank you for your question. That's a great question, because the meeting that you came to only had 3 speakers. But our meeting, I think on the 4th of March, we've got about 7 speakers. And then we'll just cut a little bit of space from table topics or whatever it might be. Because we're only meeting once a month, we don't want to limit anyone from speaking, because this is why you're here. We want you to grow. We want you to speak. We want to hear your stories. So if it means we've got 7 speeches on a night or 8 speeches on a night, we'll make it work. Okay. Great. Thank you so much.
And is it our responsibility to kind of say, Justine, I'll put my hand up to speak on this day?
Yeah, it is. I do come around to you in the meetings to kind of prod and poke you and just sort of encourage you. But if you're wanting to this is your journey, this is your growth. So if it's best if you take accountability for it, but I will be there to hold your hand and just sort of guide you as much as I can.
Okay, perfect. And that, I mean, you have to say like what, 2 weeks before, a week before? Is there a time frame on kind of when you have to?
I think if you can try and tell me the month before that you want to speak, that would be ideal, because then that also gives you time to practice, because it's nice for you to not necessarily write the speech a week before and then just practice it the day before. Try put a little bit of practice into it, and then come and you get your evaluation in that way.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Are you thinking of doing your icebreaker quite soon, Anthony?
Yeah, I'm quite keen to get going. But if I need to wait until April, that's not the end of the world.
Okay.
Yeah, we can chat offline about that.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, you can just let me know what you can do.
Perfect.
Because I'm very happy to add you to March if you want to get going. That's absolutely fine. Because sometimes things happen and people drop off at the last minute, which I encourage you with all my heart. Please try not to drop off. If you're sick, obviously it's a completely different story. I don't want you standing there and you have no voice, or you shaking because you're so sick. I don't expect that from you. But if you could please try and stick to what you've signed up for, whether it's the Toastmaster, whether it's the R counter, whichever role, because it can be quite challenging to fill that spot at the last minute. Okay.
For sure.
Cool. Thank you. Any other questions about pathways? Yes, Gabrielle, sorry.
Everybody, when they start, get a mentor as well. In the moment, we have not so many old members. We have a lot of new members, but we try to take as many mentees on as we can. So that's something we do then with the icebreaker. Either you say with whom you would like to work, or we suggest somebody for you. So it's another thing, that until level 1 is done, you get a mentor. And when you ask now, how long before you start to do with your speech. Verity, our Olympic winner or world champion, she said 1 week for writing, 1 week for learning, and 1 week for practice, 1 week for practicing, and 1 week for finalizing things. So that was her recommendation, doing 3 weeks and not to start just a week before. Because I find that if you go then and work on the camera, you video yourself, you have a mentor, you want to discuss how you move, how you speak, body language, all those things that one cannot do just a day before. That will not sit. So you have really to more or less, if you want to learn, if you want to do it really well, you need a couple of days to work on it, on everything. And then in the end, you don't have to stick to your speech like sentence for sentence. It will flow. And that's when authenticity comes in. And that's when a speech is really successful. So that's always where I think we forget about. We need time to write a speech and not do just a week before, and use the mentor more. And another thing is we got recommended from one of the important chaps in Toastmaster. Her name is Granny B. And she said, yes, we have a schedule. We do level 1 with 4 or 5 speeches. But once you have got your evaluation, it's really to work with it. And she and some other people find that we do not take into account enough what the evaluator has said to us and apply it. I think there's only one, Justina, where you apply what the evaluator has said to you. So we could as well, in our club, change that a little bit and say, do a speech again until it really flows. And we fiddle a little bit then on the pathways so that you get your points as well. Was it right, Justine? Have I expressed it right? Yeah. Because it's really important that you just become confident. And each time to write a speech and to hold it is always angst. And if you have a speech you have given already and you know what to do and you feel a little bit at home, give it again. Either go to another club or do it in our club. And I think we as mentors, if it's the right evening, we come with you to another club when you give it again and we see how you're doing it. So I think that is really mentorship. Please remember that as a new starter, that you don't rush too much. You rather build a sound foundation, because then whatever happens to you, you just know you can do it. So that's my 5 cents.
Thanks, Gabrielle. Rochelle?
Hi. I just wanted, is there a time limit sort of with the icebreaker and the speech that comes after that, that you have a certain amount of months that you need to do those speeches in? The reason I'm asking is I'm probably one of those people where I need to be forced to do it. I'm not going to like put my hand up and be like, I'd like to do it first. And this is obviously also to build confidence. So is this sort of like a time frame for these speeches?
So no, there isn't a time frame. It's completely up to you. You can take as long as you like, or you can do it as quickly as you like. It's completely up to you. I took a really long time to get started too. I think I just did all the roles before I actually did my icebreaker. And I just felt that was better for me. Everyone is different. You must decide on your journey. But obviously, if you're not putting in the work, or if you're not practicing and speaking, you're wasting your money in a sense, because you're paying for the 6 months. And if you're not going to do anything in that 6 months, then what's the purpose? So try and get as much as you can out of your time with Toastmasters, however long that may be. And if you do need a little push, then that's great. If I know that about you, then I will just come and give you little taps on your shoulder. But maybe sign up for.
Perfect. I'll take it.
Okay, great. That's helpful too, to know that about new members. Thanks, Rochelle.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks, Justine.
Is there a role that you've observed that interests you to start with?
I think that the one with the timekeeping. I think that's probably one of the easier roles to start with. Just to put me out there. So maybe, yeah, in the next meeting, I'll happily do the timekeeping.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I'll check the schedule and I'll get back to you about when you can be timer, because I think I've got someone for next time already.
Okay.
Great.
100%. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Any other questions around pathways? Everyone okay?
I've got one question just from Gabby's comment about the mentor and all of that. How does that work in terms of getting assigned one? What do we need to do on that front?
So if there's somebody that you would be interested in working with in the club, then you can let Gabrielle know. Otherwise, we will just assign one to you. Gabrielle,
Okay.
how many mentors do we have currently?
I didn't look, Justine, how many we have, but it's you, it's Sally, myself,
Andrea.
Hmm?
I think Andrea is a mentor, but I think she's
okay. Yes,
Yes,
Andrea,
I am.
that's right.
I'm here. Yes.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
at capacity, Andrea.
And is Sean doing any mentoring still?
I'm not too sure. I don't think so.
From April on, we will have probably Michelle, but otherwise, yeah, we are quite thin in the
Claire?
moment.
What about Claire?
Yeah,
I'm not sure about Claire.
no, she's,
No.
yeah, she has got too many other things. Yeah, we lost a couple of people now going overseas, and
Libby, she's with us still.
yeah, Libby is somebody as well.
Oh yeah, Libby could it would be
Yeah.
good too, yeah.
So I write those names, I can write those names down and send it on our group. But it's difficult for Anthony and Alex, to make a decision if they, here are a couple of people to choose from.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So it doesn't really answer your question, Anthony. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, all good.
I
I'm
assume
pretty easy, if one person or a couple of people have got a lot of mentees already, and there's someone who doesn't have as many or whatever it is, I'm happy to be placed with someone, whatever's going to be easiest all around.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Yes, Alex.
I assume you can choose a mentor sort of at any stage, 1 or 2 or 3 months down the line.
You can. It would be nice
Or
for you
might-
to have a mentor for your icebreaker, just so that you can run through your icebreaker with your mentor and they can give you a little bit of input. But if you're happy to get going and then choose one later down the line, that's also completely up to you. Okay. And then I was thinking, because we do only meet once a month on the first Tuesday of the month, but then we try to on what is it, the third Tuesday now? This is the third Tuesday of the month. We try to do some form of online educational. So this tonight was about pathways. I'm going to show you a video now about starting your story, or I can't actually remember what it is about now. And what we could also do is maybe in one of the educationals, if we have enough people, we could get people to practice speeches or do speeches, not practice, that's the wrong word. Let's say do speeches. And then we could almost do like a round robin evaluation. So everyone takes down what they liked, everyone takes down the message they got from it, what they think you can improve on. And then at the end of all the speeches, then everyone gets a little bit of evaluation. So that could be something we could look into doing instead of an educational like this. Okay. That also
Cool. I'm keen for that, whatever.
cool. Then it also gives you extra speaking time if you're wanting extra speaking time. But then I'll ask you to please let me know if that's something you would like to do. And then we can set it up. Okay.
Cool.
Okay, cool. I'm going to now find our friend Pres Vasilev. He was the 15 world champion. Gosh, I looked at the flyer earlier and now I've already forgotten. He was the 2013 world champion. and he's going to tell us how to sell your point. Let me find him for you. And then afterwards, we can just sort of have a little discussion around any takeaways you would like to share. Okay.
Your story may have a powerful message, a message that can improve the lives of your audience. But to get them to take action, it's not enough to tell them your point. No, you must sell your point. And in this section, you will learn the secrets to do so. The main question in the mind of your audience is, what's in it for me? In other words, if they follow your message, how will they be better off? What will be the benefits? Now, here's the next secret. Not everyone in your audience is motivated by the same benefits. You must have different benefits for different types of people. And here's the key. Think of your audience as a group of two types of people. First, people motivated by better results. Second, people motivated by better relationships. Then ask yourself, what benefits will connect with results-driven people? What benefits will connect with relationship-driven people? And when you mix both types of benefits, your message will appeal to more people. When you reach out, you attract ideas that lift you up. When you reach out, you attract solutions that lift you up. When you reach out, you attract friendships that lift you up. The first two benefits, ideas and solutions, appeal to those who are results-driven. The last benefit, friendships, appeals to those who are relationships-driven. And why did I give 3 benefits? Because 3 is a magic number. Now, here's another secret. Why did I switch hands? 2 reasons. First, after I had engaged the people on my right side, I wanted to engage those on my left side. But had I used my right hand, I would have closed my torso off. I switched hands to keep an open posture. Remember, your open posture helps you build trust. Second, when I delivered the result-focused benefits, ideas, solutions, I used my right hand. When I delivered the relationship-focused benefit, friendships, I switched to my left hand. I also used another secret here. I didn't just stop at you attract ideas, you attract solutions, you attract friendships. No, I went a step further. I said ideas that lift you up, solutions that lift you up, friendships that lift you up. I showed them the benefits of the benefits. And you can do that too. Dig deeper. What will your benefits let your audience be, do, or have? Now there's another secret here. You can sell your message with the language of your story. That's what I did. Lifting the car up was a key part of the story. So to sell my point, I turned the benefit, lift you up. I use the metaphor from the story. I saw the benefits of reaching out with the metaphor lift you up. So think, what details from your story can you turn into metaphors to help you sell your point? Now, speaking of benefits, here's the next secret. Show relevant benefits. Consider what are the goals, the dreams of your audience. How does your point help them achieve them? The better you know your audience, the more relevant, the more persuasive benefits you can show. For example, I knew that the goal of my audience was to sharpen their public speaking skills. So I showed them these benefits. Maybe you want a better voice. Reach out to a singer. Maybe you want better writing. Reach out to a writer. You see, better voice, better writing are key for better public speaking. These benefits were not random. So ask yourself, how can you align your point with your audience's goals, with your audience's dreams? How can you tailor your benefits to them? Remember, the better you know your audience, the more relevant benefits you can show them, and the more willing they'll be to act on your message. Now, there's another secret here. Show your audience specific examples of how to apply your message to their lives. That's what I did. I gave them specific examples. Reach out to a singer, reach out to a writer. And I also zigzagged between benefits and action. First, I drew the audience in with a benefit, then I called them to action. Then another benefit, then another call to action. And you can do that too. Their benefit, your point. Their benefit, your point. When you weave your point with relevant benefits, you create an irresistible rhythm, a powerful call to action. To move your audience to action, sell your point with verbs. You see, verbs not only create a mental movie, they also put your audience in an active state of mind. Remember, action words inspire action. Now let's revisit the passage we saw earlier. This time, watch what I do when I say the verbs. When you reach out, you attract ideas that lift you up. When you reach out, you attract solutions that lift you up. When you reach out, you attract friendships that lift you up. In each line, I used 3 verbs: reach out, attract, and lift up. These are not ordinary verbs. No, they are verb metaphors. They combine action and description. So I anchored a gesture to each one. Reach out, attract, lift up. So when you sell your point, use verb metaphors. And when you visualize them with gestures, you will make your point more memorable, more impactful. Remember this, put your point in their hands. In other words, help them imagine taking the action and getting the benefits. You see, when you share your story, speak from your point of view. Use words like I, me, my. But when you sell your point, speak from their point of view. Use words like you and your. These words create the impression you speak directly to each person in your audience. That's how you put them in your action. That's how you put your point in their hands. For example, my point was reach out. So I attached you in front of it. You reach out. And here's the first time I put my point in their hands. Let me show you. You never know who you're going to find when you reach out. To let the audience experience my point, I paused the story and involved them directly. I said, when you reach out, this put them in the action, and put my point in their hands. So think, how can you present your message from the point of view of your audience? How can you put your point in their hands? Later, I put my points in their hands again. Now, let's revisit the passage, and this time notice how many times I used the word you. When you reach out, you attract ideas that lift you up. When you reach out, you attract solutions that lift you up. When you reach out, you attract friendships that lift you up. I used the word you 9 times, 3 times per line. This let the audience imagine themselves taking action. And I put them not in 1, but in 3 actions. You reach out, you attract, lift you up. Notice I personalized for them not only the key action, you reach out, but also the benefits, you attract, lift you up. And I repeated each 3 times. That repetition created a rhythm that magnified the effect of the words. You see, a repetition gives you persuasive power. The more we hear something, especially a new idea, the more familiar and comfortable we become with it. And the safer it starts to feel, the more we start to accept it. So after repeating each reach out 13 times, I repeated it once more at the end, when again I put my point in their hands. Your knowledge may be limited, your skills may be rusty, but no doubt you'll be changed when you reach out. Since the end is the most powerful place, leave them with your point in their hands. Now, here's the next secret. As you know, the power of dialogue comes from its present tense. Present tense is the most intimate tense. So when you put your point in their hands, tap in the power of now. Let your audience imagine themselves taking action now. Every time I said reach out, I used present tense. I didn't say reached out, I didn't say will reach out, I didn't say was reaching out. No, I used present tense. Present tense is the power tense. So put your point in their hands in present tense. Also use present tense when you let them experience the benefits. That's what I did. I said you attract, present tense. I said lift you up, present tense. Another secret to sell your point well is to use general words. Use words general enough to let your audience personalize your point. You already saw how general words can let your audience paint their own scenes by supplying their own details, details meaningful to them. In the same way, General words can let your audience imagine the benefits of taking action. You let them come up with specifics they desire the most. And this makes your message more personal, more meaningful to them. It moves them to action. If you want to create the impression you are speaking directly to their desires, if you want them to say, "Wow, this is exactly what I want," then use general words strategically. For example, let's revisit the 3 benefits we saw earlier. The word ideas is general. What kind of ideas? Well, the ideas they want. Solutions is also general. What kind of solutions? Well, the solutions they want. Friendships is also general. What kind of friendships? Well, the friendships they want. Also, the phrase lift you up is general enough to let them interpret the way they want it. Not specifying your benefits, you let your audience supply their own. You let them imagine benefits meaningful to them. And the benefits they imagine are much more influential than any benefits you try to impose on them. Let me show you. You never know who you're going to find when you reach out. The general word who let the audience form their own personalized image of who can help them in their own situation. Your knowledge may be limited. Your skills may be rusty, but no doubt you'll be changed when you reach out. I used the word changed as a metaphor. From the context of the story, the audience knew I meant positive change. And the word was general enough to let them interpret it the way they wanted to. You see, each member in your audience has dreams and desires, fears and worries. By keeping your promise strategically vague, you let them imagine themselves the way they want to. You let them take whatever meaning makes most sense for them. That's what I did. I let them create their own personalized image of what change may be. So, what metaphors, what general words will let your audience picture the benefits of taking action? Now, here's the next secret. Your audience always value more the conclusions they reach themselves than the ones you tell them. So, you are much more persuasive when you imply your point. Maybe you want a better voice. Reach out to a singer. Maybe you want better writing. Reach out to a writer. When I said, maybe you want a better voice, reach out to a singer, I left a gap in the logic. A gap the audience could easily fill. I implied reaching out to a singer will improve your voice. When I said, maybe you want better writing, reach out to a writer, what did I imply? Reaching out to a writer will improve your writing. Both implied points spoke to the desires of the audience to improve their public speaking skills. Comparative words. These are words like bigger, stronger, faster, and you can use them to sell your point. Maybe you want a better voice. Reach out to a singer. Maybe you want better writing. Reach out to a writer. Who doesn't like to be better? Especially for people interested in personal and professional growth. The word better resonated strongly. It grabbed their attention with the promise of improvement. And I repeated it 3 times to drive my point home with rhythm. In fact, you can use something better than comparatives. Double comparatives. Better and better. Stronger and stronger. Faster and faster. You see, double comparatives show not only improvement, they show continuous improvement. So the sooner you start using comparatives to sell your point, the more and more persuasive you will be. Absolute words. These are words like always, never, oh, no. Use absolute words to show confidence in your point. But there's a warning. If you try to sell your point with absolutes too early, you trigger resistance. You spark skepticism. You see, absolutes are easy to challenge. That's why it's best to support your point with them later in your story. Use them after your audience has experienced your point. I entered many homes, sold many books, and learned a lasting lesson. Never lose hope. The absolute word never showed my strong conviction in the power of hope. I used that absolute word late in the story, after I'd built trust with the audience, after the events had justified it. Had I started my story with never lose hope, I would have instantly triggered doubts, skepticism, cynicism. So use absolutes after your audience has experienced your point. That way, you validate their thinking, you validate their emotion, and you show confidence in your message. You never know who you're going to find when you reach out. When you reach out, you attract ideas that lift you up. When you reach out, you attract solutions that lift you up. When you reach out, you attract friendships that lift you up. Your knowledge may be limited. Your skills may be rusty, but no doubt you'll be changed when you reach out. The magic word was when. You see, the word when assumes your audience will take action. When shows confidence. When shows conviction. When shows you believe with every fiber in your being it's in their best interest to follow your message. Now, the enemy of when is if. If sounds tentative. If sounds hesitant. And that's why I didn't say if you reach out. I didn't hope they may reach out. No, my words didn't allow that option. I said when you reach out. I assumed they will reach out. You see, the subconscious mind will interpret if as a sign you are not confident in your message. It will conclude, if. That doesn't sound very solid. So don't let that small word cause big doubts in your audience. Check your script for the tentative if and put your point in their hands with when. Overcome the main challenge to your point. Overcome the main reason not to take action. Overcome your counterpoint. To overcome it, first acknowledge it. That's right. Bring it to light. I thought, I can handle it. Then another voice. Reach out. Reach out. I can handle it. You see, the ego often gets in the way of reaching out to others. So I emphasized the counterpoint the same way I emphasized my point. I put it in dialogue, in present tense. I said it with a different voice, louder and angrier. I anchored a gesture to it, pointing to myself. I repeated it. Well, you say, Pres, why would you emphasize your counterpoint? Because the story clearly showed it was wrong. In fact, it was the reason for my failed attempts to solve the problem. And the more I emphasized it, the more the audience could see it was wrong. The more I tried to handle it, the worse the situation became. So first, I showed how refusing to reach out can get you in trouble. Then I showed how reaching out can solve the problem. So, what's the main reason your audience won't follow your message? What's your counterpoint? How can you emphasize it? And how can you use your story to show it's wrong? When you show how your counterpoint can get them in trouble, you send a warning. That's what I did. Changed Bar Tire was a warning story. It showed not only the benefits of reaching out, it also showed the dangers of not doing so. And the fear of loss is a more powerful motivator than the desire for gain. So when you sell your message, think, how can you show not only the benefits of taking action, but also the dangers of not taking it? This makes your point more persuasive. Now, here's something key. When you use a counterpoint, introduce it before your point. Why? Because you want to connect with those who hold opposite beliefs. In other words, first meet them where they are. Then lead them with your story to where you want them to go. That's why I said I can handle it before I said reach out. I first connected with those who resisted reaching out, then gradually introduced my point, and the story showed them the value of reaching out. When your story clearly shows the dangers of your counterpoint, you send your audience a powerful warning. You pull them to your side. You open them to your point. Call your audience to action. The key is to set up your call to action well. And a great way to do so is to dangle the carrot in front of your audience. Show them benefits they desire. Maybe you want a better voice. Reach out to a singer. Maybe you want better writing. Reach out to a writer. Before I call them to action, I reminded them of their desire to grow. So first, I uncovered a need. I showed the problem. Once I met them where they were, I showed them how to satisfy that need, how to solve that problem, by taking the action, by reaching out. So the need, the problem sparked their interest. The solution showed them the way. So ask yourself, what problems can your point solve for your audience? You can not only give your audience a direct call to action, you can also use concealed commands. Concealed commands are powerful tools of influence. They are friendly commands concealed into the lines of your story. You see, when it comes to commands, it's more effective to be subtle than to boss your audience around. One way to weave concealed commands into your lines is to put your point in their hands, to attach you in front of your call to action. You never know who you're going to find when you reach out. When you reach out, you attract ideas that lift you up. When you reach out, you attract solutions that lift you up. When you reach out, you attract friendships that lift you up. Your knowledge may be limited. Your skills may be rusty, but no doubt you'll be changed when you reach out. In all 5 cases, it seemed I casually said, you reach out. But these were 5 concealed commands. You see, the conscious mind doesn't hear it as a command, but the subconscious mind hears a powerful suggestion. What's more, I emphasized each concealed command visually. I extended my hand. Now, here's another way to weave your concealed commands into your story. Put your call to action in dialogue. Then another voice, reach out. Then that voice again, reach out. While the conscious mind hears these lines as parts of the story, the subconscious mind hears them as powerful suggestions. I used several secrets to emphasize these lines and make them more memorable. First, I delivered them after laughter. That's when the audience was most alert. Second, I paused between the words. Third, I used a softer voice. I whispered. Fourth, I looked straight at the audience. Fifth, I extended my hand forward on the beat of each word. You see, the combined effect of these tactics drove the call to action home. So ask yourself, how can you put your point in dialogue? How can you sell it to the subconscious? Now here's the next secret. For your audience to take action, they must believe they can do it. So acknowledge that their situation may not be perfect. Your knowledge may be limited. Your skills may be rusty, but no doubt you'll be changed when you reach out. I acknowledged that the audience may have their own limitations. And how did I let them personalize these limitations? That's right. With general words like limited knowledge and rusty skills, these words were general enough to let the audience interpret them according to their own situation. Then I used another secret. I shifted the tense from present to future from the present limitations to the future opportunities, from maybe to you be. When I shifted to future tense, I also tapped into the emotion of hope. You see, hope is all about the future. That's why I ended with future tense, to give them a positive promise of change in the future. So first, meet your audience where they currently are. Then lead them to where you want them to go. And ask yourself, how can you leave them with a positive image of their future? When you apply the tools and tactics in this section, you will sell your message well and you move your audience to action.
Hey, what did you all think? It's a lot of information.
Oh, are we all unmuted? Am I unmuted
You're
still?
muted. Yeah, you want to share?
That was a lot. Like, that is a lot.
It is a lot. You don't have to take it all in one go, but just take little bits of it. But it just shows you the importance of your audience and how your audience is what you are needing to focus on when you are making your speeches, and how you, how you build trust with your audience. And I found it interesting how he had that open body language and not crossing over his body to then close it off. I thought that was quite an interesting little note. Does anyone else want to share?
Yeah, I think I found it quite interesting as well when you were saying make use of your audience as well. Let them use their own imagination. I think you said something like you're more persuasive when you imply, which I thought was quite interesting. Basically, let them do some of the work as well. So.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think with that, Quentin, it's also then really important to pause so that you give your audience a little bit of time to actually absorb what it is that you've said. Because if you move on to something too quickly, then they're still busy thinking about what you've just said, and then you lose them.
Yes.
It's about ensuring that you pause and you have the right sort of time to let them absorb. I realized as I pressed play, I didn't explain that it's a world champion and he sort of unpacks his speech, but I realized you would have all caught on in good time and see what we were doing. Okay. Any questions or anything that's come up for you while we were watching that or while you were listening?
I'm good, my side.
All good. Okay, great. Fabulous. I will pop this onto YouTube and then send you all the links so that you can look back and watch it so that you can, doesn't feel like it's all overwhelming in one go. But thank you all so much for your time. Thank you so much for being here and learning with us. And hopefully I will see all of you on the 4th of March.
Thank
Thanks so
you.
much.
Great.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thanks for organizing.
Thanks so much.
Thank
Pleasure.
you.
See you
Bye-bye.
on the 4th.
Bye.
Bye.